Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're setting our sights on Sardinia, Italy. Imagine this. You've got 12 days dreaming of that perfect island escape sun, sea, ancient secrets, amazing food. You want to know how to make the absolute most of it, right? Well, that's exactly what we're doing today.
Yeah, cutting straight to the chase.
Exactly. Think of this as your essential guide. We've sifted through loads of travel info to pull out the key things for an incredible first trip.
Kind of a mission, really.
Totally. The mission is hit the highlights, what to do, where to go, what to eat, and just get you really excited about this amazing Mediterranean island.
And Sardinia really is something special, even within Italy. It's got this unique identity. It's Italian, sure, but it feels distinct.
How so? What makes it stand out?
Well, geographically, for starters, it's big, and the coastline is just enormous, around 1,850 kilometers.
1,850 kilometers.
Huge. It really is. And it means you get everything from sheer cliffs dropping into the sea to these unbelievably gorgeous sandy beaches. Just incredible variety along that coast.
So definitely not just one type of beach vibe then. You could see some really different coastal scenes.
Oh, absolutely. Mountains meet the sea in some places, gentle coves in others. But it's not just the scenery. The history is palpable.
Oh, palpable.
There are over 7,000 prehistoric archaeological sites dotted across the island.
7,000? That's staggering.
It is. You've got things like the Naraga, these mysterious stone towers. They started appearing around 1500 BCE. We're talking some of the oldest signs of prehistoric civilization in Europe.
1500 BCE. So these structures are like Bronze Age? And we still don't fully know what they were for?
Exactly. There are theories, of course, defensive structures, homes, religious sites, but there's still an air of mystery, which just adds to the appeal, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So you're saying as you're exploring, you're basically surrounded by remnants of really ancient cultures. Does it feel like that? Like history is everywhere?
It kind of does, yeah. Sometimes it's a major site. Sometimes it's just ruins integrated into the landscape, almost casually. It gives the island this layered feeling. And think about this. It's Italy's third largest region, but it's sparsely populated.
Okay, so lots of open space.
Loads of it. Vast stretches, especially inland, where it feels really wild and, well, silent, untouched. Plus, they have their own language, Sardo.
A whole separate language, not just a dialect.
Well, it's complex, but yes, distinct enough that it really underlines Sardinia's unique cultural identity. It survived for centuries.
Fascinating. Okay, so you've painted this picture of an island with ancient roots, diverse landscapes, its own culture.
Yeah.
How do we actually get there? And once we're there, what's the best way to get around?
Right, practicalities. Getting there is pretty easy. 3 international airports serve the island: Cagliari in the south, Olbia in the northeast, and Alghero in the northwest, plus 4 major ports with ferries.
Ferries from where? Mainland Italy?
Yep, mainland Italy, but also France, Spain, Corsica, Sicily. So plenty of options depending on where you're coming from.
And when's the best time to go? I'm guessing summer is packed.
Summer, especially July and August, gets very hot and very crowded. And expensive. Honestly, the shoulder seasons are often much better.
Like spring and autumn.
Exactly. March to May or September into early November. The weather's usually lovely, warm enough for beaches often, but much more comfortable for sightseeing and fewer crowds.
Good tip. Shoulder season it is. Now, getting around the island itself, public transport, rent a car.
Renting a car is definitely the way to go, I'd say. Public transport exists, but it doesn't easily reach all the beaches, archaeological sites, or inland villages you might want to see.
Okay, car hire. Is driving there a hassle? Toll roads everywhere.
Good news on that front. Sardinia has no toll roads at all.
Really? No tolls? That's brilliant.
Yeah, it makes driving much more straightforward and, affordable compared to mainland Italy. A car just gives you that freedom to explore hidden spots at your own pace.
Perfect. No tolls, freedom to roam. Sounds ideal. So let's dive into this 12-day itinerary. Where do we kick things off?
The logical place to start, especially if you fly into the south, is Cagliari. It's the capital, ancient, vibrant. I'd recommend basing yourself there for the first 4 nights.
4 nights in Cagliari, okay. What's the vibe? What are the must-dos?
It's a great mix of history and, coastal city life. You absolutely have to explore the old districts. Castello is the main one, up on the hill.
Castello, the castle district.
Yeah, think narrow, winding streets, old buildings, amazing viewpoints looking out over the city and the port. It's packed with history. Then you've got Stampace, Marina down by the harbor, Villanova. Each has its own feel.
And specific sites within Cagliari. What should be on the list?
Definitely Il Castello itself, the Bastione di Serrami for those iconic views. Great spot for sunset, by the way.
Noted. Sunset spot.
Uh-huh. Then there are the two medieval towers, Torre di San Pancrazio and Torre dell'Elefante, the Cathedral, Cattedrale di Santa Maria. And for history buffs, the National Archaeological Museum is fantastic.
Does that cover the Nuragic stuff?
It does, yeah. Really good collection. Also, check out the Roman amphitheater. It's remarkably well preserved, and the Santa Restituta crypt is quite atmospheric. Oh, and Poeto Beach is right there, the city beach, easy to get to.
Wow, okay, that sounds like plenty to keep us busy in Cagliari itself for a few days. You mentioned using it as a base, though. What about day trips?
Absolutely. Day trips are key from Cagliari. One fantastic option is heading south to the Nora archaeological site.
Nora. What's special about that?
It was founded by the Phoenicians, possibly way back in the 8th century BCE. Then came Carthaginians, Romans, Byzantines. You can see the layers. There's a Roman theater right by the sea, old mosaics, thermal baths. It's incredibly evocative.
Phoenicians and Romans right by the water. That sounds amazing.
It really is. And after soaking up the history at Nora, you can drive just a little further to the Bay of Chia.
Chia, famous for beaches, right?
Exactly. Some truly stunning beaches there, perfect for relaxing after the archaeology. So that's one great day trip south.
Okay, history and beaches south.
Right.
What about another direction?
Head east from Cagliari towards Capo Carbonara. Again, amazing coastline. You'll find Spiaggia di Porto Giunco there.
Porto Giunco. I think I've seen pictures. Is that the one with the super clear turquoise shallow water?
That's the one. Almost looks like the Caribbean. There's an old Spanish watchtower, Torre de Porto Giunco. You can hike up for incredible views over the beach. And the salt lagoon behind it, Stagno Notary.
Salt lagoon. Any wildlife.
Sometimes, yes. Keep an eye out for pink flamingos. They often hang out in the Stagno Notary.
Flamingos in Sardinia. Who knew? Okay, so Cagliari and the south offer a lot. After those 4 nights, where do we head next in our 12 days?
Right, on day 4, it's time for a bit of a drive. Head northwest from Cagliari towards Alghero.
Northwest coast is a long drive.
It's one of the longer driving days on this itinerary, yeah. Maybe 3 to 4 hours direct, but I'd suggest breaking it up.
Okay, how? Any recommended stops?
Definitely stop in Bosa. It's roughly on the way, slightly inland on a river. It's this incredibly picturesque town with brightly colored houses tumbling down a hillside below a castle.
Well, that sounds lovely. What's the castle?
Castle Malaspina. You can walk up for great views over the town and the valley. It's a really charming place. Well worth an hour or two.
Perfect. A colorful Castletown break.
Yeah.
Good plan. So we arrive in Alghero. What's the plan there? How long should we stay?
I'd plan for 3 nights in Alghero. It's a beautiful, fortified seaside town with a really unique atmosphere.
Unique how? What's different about Alghero?
It has a strong Catalan influence. It was under the crown of Aragon for centuries, and even today, some locals speak a dialect of Catalan.
Catalan in Sardinia. That's fascinating. Does it feel different?
It does, yeah. In the architecture sometimes, the street names, and just the general vibe of the historic center. It's lovely to wander through the old town. It's enclosed by these thick sea walls.
What should we explore within the old town walls?
Check out the cathedral and its bell tower. You can climb it for views. There are some nice churches like St. Michael and St. Barbara. Alghero is also famous for its red coral.
Red coral, like jewelry.
Exactly. You'll see shops selling beautiful red coral jewelry. There's even a coral museum if you want to learn more about the history and craft.
Interesting. Okay, so explore the old town, look for coral. What else around Alghero?
Take a walk along the Lungomare, the seaside promenade. It leads towards Lido San Giovanni Beach, which is nice for a bit of relaxation close to town. And definitely watch the sunset from the ramparts, the seawalls.
Another sunset spot. Got it. Ramparts in Alghero. What about day trips or excursions from Alghero, more ancient history?
Oh, yes. You're still in Sardinia. A great half-day trip is to combine Nuraghe Palmavera and the Necropoli di Angolo Rugiu.
Okay, what are they?
Palmavera is a really well-preserved Nuragic village complex. Gives you a great idea of how people lived back in the Bronze Age. And Colu Rugiu is a necropolis, so a burial site, with lots of tombs cut into the rock, prehistoric, even older than the Nuraghe in parts.
Wow. More incredibly ancient sites. It seems like you could spend months just exploring the archaeology.
You really could, but for a change of pace from Alghero, how about some wine?
Wine tasting, yes please.
Sardinia has some fantastic wines. Near Alghero is one of the biggest and most famous wineries, Sella e Mosca.
Sella e Mosca. Okay. What kind of wines are they known for?
They do great Vermentino, which is Sardinia's classic white wine, really crisp and lovely. And Cannonau, the main red grape, powerful stuff. They offer tours and tastings. It's a nice experience.
Excellent. Archaeology, sunsets, wine. What about natural wonders near Alghero?
Definitely Neptune's Caves, Grotta di Nettuno. They're spectacular sea caves at the base of the Capocaccia cliffs.
How do you get there?
Two main ways. You can take a boat trip from Alghero Harbor, which gives you great views of the coastline on the way. Or you can drive out to Capocaccia and walk down the Escala de Cabirol, the goat staircase.
Goat staircase. Sounds interesting.
It's a long staircase carved into the cliff face, about 650 steps. Stunning views, but you need a head for heights and energy for the climb back up.
Maybe the boat sounds more relaxing.
It often is. The whole Capocaccia area is part of the Porto Conti Regional Natural Park, so there's good hiking around there too. And if you want a wilder beach experience near Alghero, check out Portoferro.
Portoferro. Wilder how?
It's a bit more rugged, often windier, popular with surfers, golden sand, dunes. Less developed than Lido San Giovanni.
Okay, Alghero sounds packed with variety, so that's nights 5, 6, and 7. Where to next for days 8, 9, 10?
From Alghero, we head northeast towards Palau. It's another scenic drive across the island. Plan for 3 nights based in or near Palau.
Palau. Why Palau? What's the main draw there?
Palau is the primary gateway to the La Maddalena Archipelago National Park.
Ah, La Maddalena. I've heard that's unmissable.
It truly is. We're talking a cluster of granite islands sitting in the most unbelievably clear turquoise water you can imagine. It's just breathtaking.
So how do you experience it? Is it ferries between islands?
The best way, really the main way for tourists to see the highlights, is to take a boat tour for the day from Palau.
Okay, a boat tour, what do you see?
The tours usually cruise around several islands: Spargi, Budelli, Santa Maria Razzoli. They stop at incredible beaches and coves for swimming and snorkeling. Budelli is famous for its Spiaggia Rosa, the pink beach.
Pink beach? Really?
Yeah, though access to the actual beach is restricted now to protect it, but you can see it from the boat. The watercolors throughout the archipelago, though, just wow. Crystal clear, every shade of blue and turquoise.
That sounds absolutely idyllic. A must-do then. What else is around the Palau area?
Definitely check out Capo Testa, which is near Santa Teresa di Gallura, just west of Palau.
Capo Testa. What's there?
It's this amazing promontory with giant granite rocks eroded by the wind and sea into incredible, almost surreal shapes. Great place for scrambling around, exploring little coves, and just taking photos. Very dramatic landscape.
Giant rocks.
That's
That's
right.
cool. Anything historical near Palau?
Yes, there's La Fortezza di Monte Altura, a big 19th century fortress overlooking the sea and the archipelago. Interesting history and, again, fantastic views.
And isn't the Costa Smeralda near there too? The famous Emerald Coast.
It is, yes. Just south and east of Palau, known for being very glamorous, expensive resorts, Porto Cervo. It has beautiful beaches for sure, but it can also be very crowded and has a different, more developed feel than La Maddalena. Worth a drive-through, maybe stop at a beach like Percioli or Alicia Ruja if you want a taste of it.
Right, so Maddalena boat trip, Capo Testa rocks, maybe a peek at Costa Smeralda. That covers our 3 nights in the Northeast. We're nearing the end of our 12 days. Where do days 11 and 12 take us?
For the final leg, we head down the east coast to the area around Calaganone and the Gulf of Orosei.
Okay, driving down from Palau.
Yep. Aim for Calaganone as your base. Now, ideally, this region deserves more time, maybe 4 nights or more in a longer trip. But for our 12-day snapshot, we'll dedicate the last 2 full days to exploring from here.
The Gulf of Orosei. I've heard this is where some of the most spectacular wild beaches are.
That's exactly right. This stretch of coast is defined by huge limestone cliffs dropping straight into the sea, protecting these incredible isolated coves and beaches.
Like which ones? What are the famous names?
You've got Cala Luna, Cala Cecine, Cala Bariola, Cala Mariolu, Cala Gabbiani, and the iconic Cala Golorizze with its rock arch and spire.
Wow. And how do you get to them? Are they accessible by road?
Mostly. No, that's part of their magic. The easiest and most popular way is, again, by boat. You can take guided boat tours from the port in Calaganone, or even rent your own small inflatable boat, a gammon if you're feeling adventurous.
Rent your own boat. Is that easy to do?
Reasonably so in summer, yeah. It gives you freedom to hop between beaches. The tours are great too, though. They know the best spots and handle the navigation. Either way, spending a day exploring these coves by boat is an essential East Coast experience. The water is just unbelievably blue.
Sounds incredible. Are there any other ways to reach them, maybe for hikers?
Yes, some of them can be reached by hiking trails, but be warned, they are often quite long and strenuous, especially in the heat. Cala Luna has a trail, and Cala Gloritse famously requires a hike. It's about an hour and a half each way, quite steep in parts, but totally worth it for the view when you arrive. You often need to book the hike to Gloritse in advance now, as numbers are limited.
Good to know. Hiking reward. What about other hiking in that area, not just to beaches?
Oh yeah, the Supermonte Mountains rise up behind Cala Gonon. One famous hike is into the Golosu Goropu Canyon.
Gurupu, what's that like?
It's often called the deepest canyon in Europe. It's immense, towering limestone walls. You can hike into it. There are different routes depending on how deep you want to go and how much scrambling you're up for. It's a really impressive, powerful place.
Canyon hiking and stunning hidden beaches. The East Coast sounds properly adventurous.
Ah.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Before we wrap up, we have to talk about food. What are the Sardinian specialties we need to try?
Absolutely. Sardinian food is fantastic, quite distinct from mainland Italian. You have to try pane carousel.
Pine carousel.
It's this super thin, crispy flatbread, almost like a cracker, but huge. They call it music paper bread, often served with cheese, olive oil, or used in dishes. Very traditional.
Okay, crispy bread. Got it. What about main dishes? I've heard about pig.
Ah, yes, porcedu. That's the famous roasted suckling pig. Especially inland, it's a real specialty, often slow roasted over fragrant wood, sometimes using wild boar. It's incredibly flavorful.
Sounds intense, but probably delicious. Anything else unique? Any controversial foods?
Well, there is kasu marzu.
The maggot cheese.
That's the one, pecorino cheese that's deliberately infested with cheese fly larvae. The larvae digest the fats, making it incredibly soft, almost liquid, and very pungent. It's technically illegal to sell, but you might still encounter it in very traditional local settings. Definitely an acquired taste, and maybe not for the faint of heart.
Okay, maybe I'll stick to the porcedu. What about seafood? It's an island after all.
Oh, definitely. Especially in coastal towns like Cagliari and Alghero, the seafood is superb. Fresh fish, shellfish, often prepared quite simply to let the flavor shine through, and batarga cured fish roe, usually mullet grated over pasta, is a classic.
And wine. We mentioned Sella Mosca, but what else should we look out for?
Sardinia has loads of unique grape varieties. Reds like Carignano, Monica, Nidera, Cagnolari, often quite robust. Whites beyond Vermentino include Nuragus. Turbato Sella Mosca does a good one of that. And sweet wines like Vernaccia and Malvasia di Bosa definitely explore the local options.
Great tips. So beyond the itinerary and the food, are there any other sort of unique Sardinian things that stand out?
Well, one fascinating aspect is the island's blue zone status.
Blue zone, like areas with exceptional longevity.
Exactly. Sardinia, particularly certain villages in the mountainous Barbagia and Ogliastra regions like Villagrande Strisili, has one of the world's highest concentrations of centenarians, especially male centenarians.
Wow, why is that?
It's thought to be a combination of factors. Genetics, a healthy Mediterranean diet rich in local produce, an active lifestyle, lots of walking in hilly terrain, and strong family and community ties.
That's incredible. What else? Any quirks?
There's the historical reputation of banditry in the island's interior, linked to this unwritten code of honor called the Codice Barbaricino. It's more history now, but it speaks to the island's rugged, independent spirit.
A code of honor. Intriguing.
And if you happen to visit during Carnival, especially in places like Marmoyata in the Barbegia region, you'll see these incredible ancient processions with the Memathones figures covered in black sheepskins, wearing unsettling wooden masks and heavy cowbells, and the Isohadors in brighter costumes. It feels incredibly old, maybe even pre-Christian.
Mammothons. Sounds quite intense.
It is. And just remember, beyond the Nuraga, you have Punic, Roman, Phoenician ruins scattered all over. History is everywhere you look.
It really sounds like an island with incredible depth. This 12-day plan feels like a fantastic way to get a real taste of it. All the history, the coastlines, the culture, the food.
Exactly. It's a framework, a starting point. You could easily spend much longer focusing on just one region, but this gives you a great overview for a first visit, balancing the highlights without being too rushed.
It definitely inspires you to start planning. You get that mix of ancient sites, stunning nature, unique food.
Yeah, hopefully give you a good sense of what awaits. We encourage you, dig deeper into the parts that really sparked your interest. Sardinia has so much to offer.
Absolutely. So as you're sitting there thinking about your own Sardinian adventure, maybe the question is, with all this blend of ancient history, landscapes that just take your breath away, and this culture that's so distinct from the rest of Italy, what part of Sardinia are you most excited to discover?
Yeah.